Executive Vice President of North American Sales, to host a customer panel, Ms. Susan Cook. Please welcome her.
Good morning. How are you? I think you're gorgeous. You are our customers. We love you. Thanks for being here. So, please, gentlemen, join me. Have a seat. Favorite part of my job is being able to talk to all of you, our customers. And this morning, I am just so honored to have a few amazing ones up here on stage with me. These are some of our award winners that you saw the videos of yesterday. So, gentlemen, I can't do you justice, so let me ask you to introduce yourself and say a little bit about your company. Dante, may I start with you?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dante Cardenas. I'm the CIO of Cementos Pacasmayo. Cementos Pacasmayo is the second biggest cement company in Peru. We have operations mainly on the north part of Peru, and we have over 60 years, and we are the leading company in Peru building cement.
Wonderful. Julie.
Thank you, Dante. I'm Bijoy David from Alliance Bernstein. I'm the technology lead for the BI practice out at Alliance. We are a global asset manager with almost 550 billion in assets, and we operate in 20 different countries. We are, including our parent company, AXA, is the 8th largest publicly traded company, and we are recognized for our quality research and diversity management that we do for our clients in retail, institutional, and private client across the globe. And last year we celebrated our 50th anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Roger.
Thanks, Susan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Roger Tappan. I lead U.S. operations at Merck. Merck is a global pharmaceutical company that discovers, develops, and provides medicines to people around the world. It is a company with a mission of improving lives and saving lives, and many of our medicines you've probably heard of. Keytruda is a big oncology product of ours. It was in the news yesterday. You may have seen some of that positive news. We have a diabetes franchise. We've had cardiovascular business. We've got a very big, broad vaccines portfolio. We have hospital and specialty business, and we also have an animal health line. Based in the U.S., we're known as Merck in the U.S., but for those of you from outside the U.S., you might better know us as MSD or Merck Sharp and Dome. We have about 70,000 people around the world employed at Merck, and it's great to be here.
Great, thank you. Mark.
Great. Yes, my name is Mark Smith, and I work for the Coca-Cola Company, which I hope everybody has heard of, and had a fine Coke product yesterday at the lunch. Although I'm looking for a little bit more Coke Zero in this hotel, as Roger and I were talking earlier. I could have used an extra one maybe this morning. So
I found 2 yesterday.
And my role is I lead marketplace intelligence for Coca-Cola North America, which involves a lot of mainly long-range planning, industry analysis, consumer and competitive analysis. And I work with our lobbying organization, the American Beverage Association, which is what we shared, and part of the reason we developed our app is doing some work with them, is we're trying to help consumers reduce calories from beverages over the next 10 years by 20%. So that's the reason for our app, and that's part of the work that I get involved in as part of that lobbying effort that we work with to address taxes and other obesity issues throughout the country.
Tell us a little bit more about the app that you built.
So the app is very simple. What we've discovered is a lot of people can't drink a low and no calorie beverage if they don't have access to it. And the purpose for developing the app was to help our salespeople in each individual market in very difficult areas of the country, such as Bed-Stuy in New York, or South Bronx, East LA, some places that are challenging to find low and no calorie beverages. We developed the app to help people focus on those, to help our salespeople be able to go into stores, to see if they have that, and to know which stores to target to add low and no calorie beverage options for those consumers in those kind of difficult to serve neighborhoods in some ways. And the app allows people to quickly visualize, are our products available that are low and no calorie, and are people buying them? Are we moving the needle to actually meet this 20% reduction in calories by 2025? Are we actually doing that? And this helps people focus. It's very Simple, visual, quick, mobile, all those things that were talked about yesterday. But it's very simple. We're only trying to, it's product available, are people buying it? And if they are, then we're moving the needle and making a difference in people's lives.
Makes sense. Roger, tell us a little bit about your application.
So our application, Gator, has been something that we've been working on with you all for the past couple of years. I traditionally have been a sales leader at Merck, and in years past I was always struck by, we're a leading, innovative healthcare company, and at least for our field representatives and account executives, we sort of operate in the 90s still. Our legacy system was a SharePoint site where we would import data from our warehouse, and we'd have a small army of analysts. We call them analysts, but they were building a lot of reports, hundreds of reports, and we were just assuming that our thousands of representatives and account executives out there would know what to do with that and how to navigate it, what to do on their laptop, how to import data and build reports. And if you're doing all those things, you're not in front of customers. So we embarked on a mission to build a very simple application that allowed our representatives and account executives to access their data. We also said everybody lives on a mobile device personally now. Why are we forcing them to navigate and live on a laptop in Excel? So we've been able to decommission everything, and Gator is that one-stop shopping. It's simple, it's intuitive, it's mobile, and it's a common view from a national sales leader all the way down to a representative. So it's really been able to transform our business.
Great. Bajoy.
Yeah, so our app is Simon. We call it Simon. It's a sales enablement app for our sales managers. What we do with that is bring in disparate data together from multiple different apps, web applications that we have. It's primarily helping our sales guys who is on the field, who is not connected to our network, to give them the information at the right time, at the right place, with everything that they need. So it primarily gives them the entire book of business, which includes all of the firm, the offices, the address information, for them to make a meaningful engagement with the customer when they're talking to them. So they have everything at their fingertips. It's primarily built on MicroStrategy framework. We are using Mobile Iron as the MDM software for deploying that. We made it seamless where we are using Ping to primarily do single sign-on, authenticate the users, so they don't need to put in their password like any other app. I mean, you go to your tablet, you click on it, you have your entire book of business there. It also includes marketing collateral that we bring into the app. We are also giving them product performance numbers, which they can see. My rating of our fund products. So it's primarily bringing everything together and giving them an app where, they have it when they need it, all the information at the right time.
I love what you guys have done just to put this MicroStrategy front end to almost shield your sellers from the sales force, but still use it, but it's a whole veneer on the front of that.
That's true.
Great. Dante.
So our application is basically a web and mobile solution that was designed taking in consideration to be very friendly for our end users, right? It was envisioned to provide us with an end-to-end view of our whole concrete business. So basically you can access information from operations to see if our shipments are on time, for instance. We have information from human resources, information from quality assurance, information from plant maintenance, and of course financials. So a single point of information for every need within our business unit.
Great. Roger and Bajoy, one of the things you highlighted that I thought was pretty interesting in both of your videos is that you strive in your design to be more like, consumer-focused apps that we all use on these devices in our day-to-day lives. So talk to us about your strategy to drive adoption through that app look and feel like a Uber or Amazon or anything else we use on our phones. Roger, you want to start?
Oh, sure. We started with, why are we operating so differently at work than we do in our personal lives? Right? Like, it's crazy. Right.
Yeah.
I don't go home and get into spreadsheets with my kids and spend hours downloading and building reports. I would do everything online.
You don't?
So
Check their grades that way.
yeah. Through a portal and an app, actually.
That's right.
So we wanted to make it easy. We traditionally didn't have, and you heard us reference this in the video, we traditionally didn't have great utilization. So we had an army of people building reports. We had hundreds of reports, smart people working on all of this, and, on average, less than 50% every month we're utilizing those reports. So it's all the extra work, and it's not being utilized. So we wanted to make something very easy that was similar to how they do their banking, how they do anything online. So it was designed to be very similar to what they do in their personal lives. And as a result, it's, the utilization is off the charts.
Even before you officially released it?
Yeah, one of our teams, it was just a soft launch. And it was pretty interesting. The team was pretty excited when we saw the utilization statistics in the first couple of days before we did the training.
Wow.
So, and immediately the comments of this is a game changer, this is transformative, and one of the sales managers said in my 20 plus years here at Merck, this is the best thing that's ever been deployed to us. So it's really been a winner for us.
But Joy, you would echo that, I think?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree to everything that you said, Roger. I also want to add, we wanted to make it seamless and less intrusive, so we built it in a way where, like I said, it's like any other app that you would have. Interestingly, one of our sales guys, he was at one of his hockey games watching his son play hockey, and he has his app right there as he's watching the game, and he's doing his work and also enjoying the game. So that's kind of where people are getting, the adoption that we want, and that's made it more seamless for us to make sure we have the sales guys liking the app and utilizing it to the way that we need it.
That is the new norm of working, yeah. Absolutely. Dante and Mark, a question for you. You both referenced that one of the things that you had to overcome was this very spreadsheet-centric culture. So talk a little bit about this transformation away from that spreadsheet culture. How's that improved efficiencies and business performance? Dante, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I guess we were struggling to get information at the right time to the right people, right? And it was really easy for our business users to start, using our tool because, the information was right there, right? Now it could be shared at the right moment, right? We could take actions in advance because the information was there. We didn't have to wait until the end of the month to see what was going on with our business units, right? So it was a really big change in the mindset of our users. And for sure, we think we're going to keep, fostering the use of this type of solutions, right, and throughout the whole organization.
Mark?
Yeah, I would add, from our perspective, it was late trying to develop, dump things into Excel, and people were getting, spending time doing that. It would come up a week later or several days later after the end of the month or end of the week. This obviously accelerated that, number one. But number two, what it did is, the sales guys in the field get a lot of reports. They get a million things coming at them, and they're walking into a store, and they've got 15 things they've got to sell that day. Different promotions, different packaging, new pricing, new products, all that. And so are they going to sit there and go through a spreadsheet and say, oh, yeah, I need to figure out this one?
No.
No. And so when you come out and it's like, well, you've got all that, the rest of those reports you're getting. Now you get a very simple visual app that says, oh, it drives attention to what we want them to do on this one area of the business. And it drives that attention and focus, and it pops out compared to just, oh, it's another line in a spreadsheet that's a 300-store list of places I need to go work on today. And so that's it transitioned from that culture, but also is more pointing attention to what we wanted them to focus on.
So rather than them having to swim through it all, just tell me what I need to know, when I need to know it, in the context I need to know it, where I need to know it. Just tell me. Yes, totally understand. Gentlemen, Michael Saylor in his keynote yesterday reviewed the intelligent enterprise. All of you are pretty accomplished in what you've been able to do. You've got tremendous experience. What bit of advice would you give the people in the audience who might be relatively early in that journey? I'll start with you, Dante.
I guess users sometimes they know what they want, sometimes they don't. So in our case, there was a lot of back and forward between how the information should be presented, right? And what we are now doing is we are starting to incorporate some design thinking and agile practices especially within the design phase, to have a better understanding of what they want, right? So we go together through this discovery phase, and once we got that sorted out, we'll start, with our project. So that's, something that's worked for us.
Great. Bijoy.
I'll say 3 things. One is follow the KISS principle. What is KISS? It's keep it simple yet sexy. So I hope I can say that. But
You can say that. You're allowed. I've said much worse. You're good.
So what I mean is, create a UI which is pretty sleek. If you're early on, find a partner who will help you with that. For us, we were lucky to have Southport as our partner. They did an excellent job. Second, I would say is make sure you have a pretty good performance and you have the right data, because you lose on either of them, you lose adoption. And the third thing I'll say is sign up for MicroStrategy Premium Services, because for us, as part of this early on process, there were a lot of things that came up as issues, and with Premium Services, it was pretty good for us to resolve those.
Thank you very much. Roger.
So I think there's a couple of things. I would, when we first introduced Gator to our sales council, it didn't resonate. My predecessor, thought we should look at other different options and we should go slowly. So the first thing I would say is, be bold. If you haven't started this, why not? What's holding you back at this point in time, given what you've heard, at this conference? You're going to face resistance, so be prepared to push through that, because there's loyalty to legacy systems. There's loyalty to the way we operate. We've always done it this way for 20 years. We've already invested all this money, but it can be overcome. So understand that going into it. The other 2 things I would say is, that's given us a lot of energy is the fact that we branded it. We called it Gator, right? You haven't seen it, but we've got a logo that's a gator that's edgy but friendly and really sort of gives it a personality. And the team, has started feeding back to me that as we're considering other digital or data initiatives, we're starting to hear references from people in the organization who aren't too familiar with Gator saying, we should do that like we did Gator. So it's, it can really be a foundational, opportunity for you. And then the last thing I would say is once you start, get a really good project manager. I think we developed 7 different apps for, the 8 or more sales teams that we have. And Chris, you saw in our video, was our project manager for all this. I don't know if she loved being the project manager given all that came along with it, but she did a terrific job. And I've seen initiatives internally not go as well because there wasn't strong project management involved.
Great. Mark.
For us, especially with this, I would say, be very clear in defining the question you're trying to answer. We were going after a very specific 2 metrics we're trying to move the needle on. So because we knew exactly what we wanted to do, we were able to make it so simple and so clear that we were able to accomplish what we wanted because we went in with that really understanding the question and what we were trying to move. But it's not a system to manage all of our business, which I think more like Gator and Simon and those tools may be a broader type of use. We were very simple and very focused, and that allowed us to know what we wanted going in and go get it quickly.
And declare success.
And declare success. It's
Absolutely.
Like we're done. We're not trying to, solve world peace. We're trying to sell soft drinks, and we wanted to make sure that we had something that helped us move the needle in that space.
Speaking of success, you all are really good at what you do. What do you think? Right? Gentlemen, thank you very much.